What if you've just discovered that the greatest enemy in your life isn't the government, it's not the crisis, it's not the lack of opportunity, but your own mind? In the book Outwitting the Devil, which has been hidden for over 70 years, Napoleon Hill makes a bold revelation. There is an invisible force that controls millions of people every day, and this force uses a silent, subtle, but devastating weapon: fear. In this video, we'll explore in detail how the author himself, after interviewing 500 millionaires, concluded that the true saboteur of human prosperity lives within us. Get ready for a profound and transformative journey, where you'll discover how to identify, confront, and neutralize the devil that may be controlling your thoughts, decisions, and destiny. Fear is a master in disguise. It presents itself as protection, but in reality it's a prison. It says it's taking care of you, when in reality it's keeping you chained to a life you didn't choose. Fear dresses up as prudence, logic, and "it's better not to try," and it plants roots in your subconscious until you accept mediocrity as your destiny. Napoleon Hill made it clear, fear is the devil's main tool to keep you from your greatness. And do you know why? Because when you wake up to your true power, you become uncontrollable. And this system doesn't want free human beings, it wants obedient automatons, afraid of losing what little they have. Freeing yourself from fear begins by facing it head-on. Not with arrogance, but with awareness. You need to name your fears, write down what they are, understand where they came from. Are they really yours? Or were they inherited from your parents, school, church, society? Fear only has power while it's hidden. When you expose it to the light of consciousness, it begins to lose its strength. Look your fear in the eye and say, "I see you. But I am not you." That's the first step to regaining control of your mind. You are not your negative thoughts, you are the one who chooses not to believe. And that choice is where your freedom lies. After that comes the second step, taking action despite your fear. Awareness is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to follow through with fear. Every time you move in spite of fear, you rewire your brain. You create new neural connections that say, "I can do it." And the older you get, the smaller your fear becomes. It's as if you shrink the monster that terrified you until you realize it was always just a shadow, magnified by your thoughts. True confidence is born of action. And action, when measured against purpose, creates an energy field so strong that fear simply cannot survive in it. The transformed life you desire is on the other side of your greatest fear. That's not just a fancy phrase, it's a spiritual code. The miracles of your life are hidden in the very places where you have the greatest resistance. And what keeps that miracle locked away is your paralysis. You don't need to know every step, just the first one. Start. Move. Speak. Cry. Try. And even if you fall, you will already be at a higher level than where you were. Each movement becomes clear. Each firm choice, even a small one, opens doors that were previously invisible. Because the universe responds to movement, not to stagnation. And finally, feed your mind with courage. Stop consuming content that weakens you, that reinforces fear, scarcity, and impotence. Choose what enters your mind as if you were choosing what to plant in the garden of your soul. Read books that uplift, listen to voices that awaken, connect with people who live with purpose. Fear grows where there is ignorance. But where there is light, it disappears. Your mind is the key to your destiny, and when you decide to reprogram it with thoughts of faith, action, and abundance, fear ceases to be the master and becomes just a reminder that the power has always been with you. And always will be. The first trap revealed in the book is drifting, the habit of wandering through life without purpose. This is, according to Hill, the devil's #1 weapon. A human being who doesn't know where he or she is going is easily influenced by external forces, negative news, other people's opinions, digital distractions, and limitations inherited from society. By allowing the mind to move without direction, the person becomes vulnerable to manipulation. It's like a rudderless boat on the high seas. If you feel like your life is at a standstill, that days go by and nothing changes, this could be a sign that you are stuck in this state of drifting. The only way out? Take control of your mind before another force does it for you. Hill says the human mind is like a garden. If you don't plant intentional seeds, external ideas, often destructive ones, will take root for you. That's why controlling your thoughts is the first key to breaking free. When you decide what you think, choose what to believe, and filter what enters your subconscious, you take back the creative power that shapes your reality. This isn't self-help talk, it's neuroscience. Your brain creates connections based on what you repeat every day. If you feed your mind with purpose, discipline, and thoughts of abundance, your external life begins to reflect that. That's how real change happens, from the inside out. Drifting, this is the most dangerous state of mind described by Napoleon Hill. It's when you wake up every day, live on autopilot, and go to sleep without having done anything that truly brings you closer to what you were born to live. It's when you work at something you don't love, engage in relationships for convenience, and accept crumbs from the universe out of fear of wanting more. Drifting is like being a leaf blown by the wind of others. Your decisions don't come from within, but from what others think, expect, or demand. And the scariest thing? Most people are in this state, and don't even know it. They confuse routine with purpose. But the truth is that if you don't have clarity about where you want to go, any path will do, even if it leads you to an abyss. A mind without direction becomes fertile ground for the devil, according to Hill. When you don't make decisions for yourself, someone else makes decisions for you. And when there is no purpose, fear, doubt, laziness, and procrastination become your leaders. A drifter doesn't realize he's being manipulated because he doesn't feel acute pain. He just feels constant discomfort, chronic dissatisfaction, a lack of sparkle in his eyes that he already calls normal. But that's not normal. This is you living below what you were created to be. The good news? You can get out of this state. And the first step is to admit, yes, I'm drifting. But I choose to wake up. Getting out of the drifting state requires an internal rupture. You need to stop everything, silence the external noise, and ask the most important question of your life: what do I really want? Not what others want for you. Not what seems safest. But what makes your heart race, what lights a fire in your soul. And then, even without knowing the whole path, take the first step. Take control of your life like a captain who takes back the helm after a storm. Drifting is the absence of command. Purpose is direction with power. And once you align your thoughts, your actions, and your faith on the same frequency, the entire universe conspires to take you out of the limbo of mediocrity and launch you on the path of fulfillment. But none of this is worth anything if you don't have a defined purpose. That is the foundation of everything. Napoleon Hill makes it clear, the devil can only control those who don't know what they want. When you have a clear goal, something that makes you wake up every day with a sparkle in your eyes, your mind begins to align ideas, opportunities, and people that will bring you closer to that destination. Purpose is not a spiritual luxury, it is a weapon against fear. It gives you focus in the midst of chaos, drives you when everything seems difficult, and turns every obstacle into a lesson in growth. Without it, even faith weakens. But with it, even the impossible seems like a matter of time. This is where Hill's two greatest pillars of transformation come in: discipline and persistence. You can have the best purpose in the world, but if it is not consistent, it dies in the realm of intention. Discipline is the bridge between the idea and the result. And persistence is the fuel that keeps you going even when you don't see progress. These virtues are not born with you, they are built with each decision. It is in the no that you say to laziness. It is in the yes that you say to your mission. And each time you choose to move forward, even when you are afraid, you weaken the devil's control over your life. You create an internal pattern of strength, courage, and clarity. And it all starts with a choice: to seek knowledge. Not the kind of formal education that turns you into obedient employees, but the kind of liberating education, the kind that reveals who you really are, what you want, and how your thinking creates your reality. Self-awareness is the secret weapon the system doesn't want you to discover. The more you understand your mind, your beliefs, your patterns, the freer you become. Right thoughts create right decisions. Right decisions create successful habits. And successful habits create a reality of prosperity. It all starts with what you think, because what you think, you feel. And what you feel, you attract. But there's something even more powerful than all of that: action. Taking action is the ultimate antidote to fear. No matter how much you learn, visualize, or affirm, if you don't take action, nothing changes. Fear paralyzes, action liberates. Many people wait for security, clarity, or motivation to start. But the secret is the opposite: you take action first, and confidence comes later. Every step you take, even if it's shaky, undermines the illusion of fear. Action is energy in motion. It's like saying to the universe, I'm ready. Open the way. And the way does open, because you're changing your vibration from victim to creator. Action is faith in motion. So stop right now and look at your life. What have you been putting off? What decision have you been putting off out of fear of the unknown? What would you do today if you knew you couldn't fail? These aren't philosophical questions. They're the beginning of your liberation. The change you want to experience begins with a simple gesture: saying yes to yourself. Yes to your purpose. Yes to your truth. Yes to a life guided by intention, not manipulation. The world doesn't need more obedient people, it needs awakened people with purpose and the courage to act. That person could be you. We've come this far, and if you've stuck with me this far, it's because there's something inside you that recognizes the truth of these words. This isn't just a video, it's a call, a wake-up call to take control of your mind and stop wandering through a life you didn't consciously choose. Napoleon Hill didn't write Outwitting the Devil as just a book. He wrote it as a spiritual weapon, a tool to free minds imprisoned by invisible fears, automatic habits, and the dangerous illusion of comfort. And now, that weapon is in your hands. The question is, what will you do with this power? Real change doesn't begin when you change the world around you. It begins the moment you decide to change your inner world. When you look within and realize that you've always been in control of your reality. Hill teaches us that thought is a creative force, and that you can use that power to build freedom or to dig your own prison. If you think clearly, act with purpose and keep your mind disciplined, no external force can stop you. But if you allow fear, doubt and distraction to control you, then you are already defeated before you even begin. Transformation begins with decision. That is why, from now on, your mission is one, to get out of the state of drifting and live with intention. Set a defined purpose. Write it down. Visualize it. And every day, even if it is for 5 minutes, do something that brings you closer to that destination. Feed your mind with wisdom, surround yourself with voices that encourage you, and remember, life is happening now. There is no guaranteed later. Those who live in drifting wait for the ideal moment. Those who live with purpose create that moment. And even if you still have fears, doubts or limitations, it does not matter, because the force that drives you is greater than any barrier that tries to stop you. If this content touched something inside you, write here in the comments a phrase that represents your awakening. It could be a quote from Hill, a decision you've made recently, or a phrase that sums up your transformation. And if this message resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, you'll find content to feed your mind, strengthen your faith, and build the life you deserve to live. Remember, you were born to command your mind, and when you do, the world responds. The greatest prison isn't made of walls, it's built inside your mind, and Napoleon Hill shows you the way out.